Man, that bourbon ingredient was great. That was a good idea.
That's awesome.
Let me see. Hang on. Is this? It's chewy.
Hey, welcome back. Van here. Today I'm going to bring you a special recipe inspired by the flavors of Colorado. I'm going to make it from scratch right in front of your eyes. So get ready because this is going to be one wild ride. And I'm thinking Colorado, and what comes to mind? Beautiful mountains, fresh air, and bourbon. Yeah, bourbon. Colorado is known for its bourbon. You believe that? Here is some bourbon that I picked up. How do you incorporate this bourbon into a marinade recipe? Well, I tell you, let's get started. I've got a lot of things over here to my side here that I believe we're going to use a lot of this in the recipe, some we may not. First, you got to get started with the basics. And the basics to about every jerky recipe that we make is soy sauce. We're going to add a half a cup of soy sauce to get us started. Next, we're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. You got to have some Worcestershire sauce in a traditional beef jerky recipe. And we're going to go with around a fourth of a cup. Pour that in there. Apple cider vinegar is another great thing to add to any jerky recipe because it gives you a little bit of acidity and it also breaks down some of the meat fibers and makes it tender. We're going to add a fourth of a cup of apple cider vinegar. We also need some garlic powder. Let's go with about a tablespoon. Let's go with a tablespoon. And we're using granulated garlic. This is not garlic salt. This is just regular granulated garlic. We're also going to add another basic staple to a jerky recipe, which is granulated onion or onion powder, but not the salts because we don't want too much salts. Too much salts is too much salts. Next, we need to add probably a little bit of black pepper in here. Black pepper goes a long ways with the flavor, so we're just going to add 1 teaspoon. We want this to be a little bit of a spicy jerky. So what's best on a cold day up in the Colorado mountains, where I've never visited, but I'd like to, is a little bit of heat. So we're going to add some, that's a little more than a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now you got the basic recipe for about any jerky. But we got some heat added in there. Now we need to add something to balance out that heat. And we're going to go with some brown sugar. Brown sugar does more than just add sweetness. Brown sugar actually acts as a cure. Brown sugar will make it to where microbes and whatnot cannot breed in your jerky after you get it made. We got to add some honey to it. That was a fourth of a cup of brown sugar. And we're going to add some honey. Probably add a good bit, maybe a fourth of a cup of honey. But honey does the same thing as brown sugar, but honey will also break down the fibers of the meat as well and will make your meat a whole lot more tender. I'm thinking a sweet, smoky, maple bourbon jerky marinade recipe. That's what I'm thinking. That's what comes to my mind. So I've got this maple syrup. This is 2 ounces. That's a quarter cup. We're going to add this maple syrup into this jerky marinade. To get the smokiness that I'm wanting to have in this jerky, we're going to add not just 1 tablespoon, because we want this to be like it was made over an open fire. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons. I think any more than that would be too much for this little bit of marinade. You know what I was fixing to forget? I was fixing to forget to add the bourbon to it. And that's what the whole recipe was about. How do you incorporate the bourbon in this? Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, that smells really good. We're going to go with quarter cup measuring cup. This is 2 ounces? Yeah, okay. So we're going to add a quarter cup to begin with. I'm not sure if this is going to be too much or not enough. Let's add that in there. Wow, that's a lot. I don't think I could put much more into this marinade. I believe that's going to be about all it's going to be able to handle. But what I need to do is I need to get this mixed up and see what it tastes like. All right, let's take the top off and give this a try. Not quite getting enough bourbon in it, but I don't think I can put much more in this container. But I'm getting a lot of smokiness, I'm getting the sweetness. I believe we need to add a little bit more bourbon to it. We'll do that here in just a second. We're gonna let this marinade sit here for a minute while we do something else. Try to let it settle and get the flavors settled in there really good. We're gonna use our vacuum marinade tumbler. We're gonna talk a little bit about the meat. We're gonna use stir fry meat. We got this from Walmart. It's actually the perfect size for making jerky. It's not too thick. It's not too thin. You get some really good pieces in there. We're going to just take these apart one by one. By the time we get that done, then the marinade should be settled up some. We can taste it again and see if we need to add some more bourbon to it. But that's the fun thing about making small batch beef jerky. I have definitely got to try this bourbon out. This is to give me a little more time to let my marinade settle over here before we try it. So, cheers, salute. I like that. That was smooth. I'm gonna add some more bourbon to this. First, so that I can, we're gonna pour some of this over in here. Yeah, this is 1 ounce measuring shot or whatever the heck it's called. So we're just gonna add 1 more ounce to it. So that's 3 ounces of bourbon. I'm gonna give it a quick spin. I think that right there equaled it out pretty good. If you don't have a vacuum marinade tumbler, you can use a Ziploc bag, put it in the refrigerator overnight, and you should be good to go. But the thing I like about the vacuum marinade tumbler is it pulls all that meat, it pulls all that marinade up into the meat, and when you get done, there is pretty much no marinade left. I'm gonna give this an initial shake. That's a lot of marinade in there. 15 minutes. Oh yeah, you can see the color of the marinade is rich, deep brown, and the aroma is amazing. The bourbon really comes through. So there you have it, folks. Small batch beef jerky, 1 batch at a time, Colorado inspired bourbon beef jerky, and it's ready to devour. It's ready for me to devour it. Oh yeah, I get the smell of sweetness and the smell of the bourbon and the smoky. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness. Oh, why? Why so good? I'm not kidding. This jerky, this is for the person that likes a little bit of sweetness. And this is for the person that likes a little bit of heat. And this is for the person that likes a little bit of bourbon. And this was made right here today, right before your eyes. You've got to try this. Try it and leave a comment in the comment section down below and let me know what you think. Let us know, the community, what you think, because wow, that's good. I gotta get some more. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the new state jerky recipe comes out, inspired by U.S. states. Other than that, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Y'all have a good one now, and you come back. Yeah.
That bourbon ingredient was great. That was a good idea.
That's awesome.
That's a good idea. That bourbon, let me see. Hang on to this. Can't smell shit. Can't smell it.
See a mess.
I can't taste it, but I know it's shit's strong. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It still gets me right here and right here, but I can't taste it. You know what I mean?
I think I do.